welcome to today's press conference with the 2018 Bass Pro Shops Challenge Select champion, Mr. Keith Poche. Keith, it's been a long grind out there, and it must have been a very exciting day for you as you won. We heard that you actually did a flip off the boat. You were so excited. So can you talk about what it was like in that moment to actually win?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was really exciting. Anytime you win an MLF event, especially with this format, it's 3 rounds, the first round and the sudden death, and then, putting yourself in that opportunity, championship round to win it. Man, it's just been a grind all week. And I'm very thankful. I had some things go my way. I was able to catch some good fish each day to really put me up there to advance on. And, it was just a really good day for me. That's all I can say. And, going to the Cups now, it's pretty sweet. It's awesome.
So not only now are you going to the 2018 Challenge Cup since you won this event, but you're also now a full-time Cup angler. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's awesome. For the points system, being in the top 2 to make it full-time is great. And, you really have to be consistent. And, with these guys, there's a lot of great anglers. It's tough. It's tough coming out, day in and day out and competing and putting yourself up there and, not having a bomb, not just falling out the first round, just keeping yourself in it, making that next round and getting as many points as you can. Just not having a train wreck. You just got to go out and put some fish on a score tracker and just do what you can do.
You came into your lead early in the day. What was it like? Did you have to play defense, at that time? What was going on in your mind?
Man, I was trying to catch as many bass as I can catch. I had an awesome first period. When I first started after the Mercury ride around, I was in an area I really wasn't comfortable in. Fished around, had a couple bites, missed them, but had a lot of boats in there. A lot of the guys, like four of us, was in this up the river, and it just wasn't happening. I wasn't feeling it. It just wasn't something that I like to. I mean, it's what I like to fish, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't happening. Fish weren't active. They weren't blowing up on anything. I wasn't getting many bites. So I started working my way south, and I went back in this creek. And I tell you, man, it was on. I mean, it's just every other cast. And, just sometimes you land on them. Sometimes, that's the deal with MLF. You got to keep moving. You got to keep digging. If, what you got ain't working, just keep picking up a different bait or doing this or just keep moving, because eventually you're going to land on them, and eventually you're going to start, putting fish on that score tracker and putting yourself in a position to win.
Keith, congratulations, first of all, on today's win, but also on making the Cups. I want to make sure to tell you that. My question is, what were your most successful baits or patterns today, throughout the day? Did it change? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, I mean, I started out with a frawl this morning, and it's been a huge part of my success all week. But, I caught 100% of my fish on a frawl. I flipped a little bit, but I couldn't get bit. Going back in that pocket first thing, that creek first thing this morning, and getting on that run with that frog, I had so much confidence in it, and I felt like I had it dialed in that I can duplicate that in other creeks. Because during the second period, I went back to that same place where I caught, almost 16 pounds in just a little while, and I couldn't get a bite. That's when I started flipping and trying to do some other stuff and just couldn't get bit. So I figured, I need to keep this frog in my hands and start running other creeks and try to duplicate and look for the same stuff. And what I was keying on was isolated grass patches. They were hung on stumps, and they kind of, I don't know if they grow from the bottom or grow on the stumps, but you could see the wind was blowing them around, but they were hung on the stumps. And of course, the bass, they like to be on wood, and they got the best of both worlds, with a canopy and a stump. So, yeah, I'm just throwing a frog over that mat, and it was game on.
Congratulations today, Keith. A heck of a job you did. You fished against a stacked group all 3 days. What set your fishing apart?
What set my fishing apart? Just going with my gut and what I feel comfortable in. We're at Lake Murray. We go to another lake, but I try to find stuff that I felt comfortable fishing. A lot of times I should be doing this because that's what you're supposed to do, this lake, or that's the deal here. But, anywhere we go in the country, any event, I try to do what I feel comfortable doing, what I'm best at. It doesn't always work out, but I feel like if I do that, then I'm gonna maximize my opportunities of getting bit and getting good bites and putting myself in position, because when you start doing things that you're not comfortable with, and it's just you're out of rhythm, you don't feel good, you don't feel comfortable, you're moving around, you're fishing fast, things are just not flowing. So if I can make something work that I like doing, then I'm gonna run with that, and it is what it is.
What were your initial thoughts when you got to the lake this morning?
Well, Murray again. I mean, not real happy, because the first round I barely made it to the sudden death. I mean, I had a last minute fish, with 8 minutes left to go that bumped me into the sudden death. So wasn't really excited, but we were putting in upriver. Our zone was further up the lake where, I figured it'd be a lot more grass, a lot more structure. My area of fishing, the stuff I like to fish, it's not clear water. I can get on the bank or go about in a pocket and fish and feel comfortable. So I really didn't know, but I felt better today than I felt on the first round.
How did the weather change? This week we've had really hot weather, we've had rain, but today you've had both. You've had the hot and then you had the storms. How did it change how the fish were biting and how you fished?
Well, it doesn't really change much for me. I mean, I'm fishing shallow. Wind plays a little bit factor in it. It helps them bite a little bit, makes them feel a little more comfortable, sets them up on points and those little mats. And I don't, going in that shallow water, you don't have to be as quiet, because, you could spook them really, but when the wind's blowing, they're less likely to get spooked. But, when I went back there, it was still early morning. The early morning bite was going on. I don't think it mattered. I don't think the weather played a big factor in what I was doing, because I caught them in backs of creeks all day, but I didn't get as many bites. But I feel like those fish, if I can get that frog in front of them, they'll eat it. You know what I mean? So it's just finding a group of fish. It's just finding fish. And I think going through that stretch first thing this morning and burning through them, them shallow fish don't replenish like deep fish, on a point or, something like that. So me going through there first thing and making that pass and catching all those fish, that was it. They were done. I mean, there's just so many back there. And in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to have to eventually start running other creeks and trying to get some more bites. But I think they bit really good just because it was still early morning, and I still had that early morning bite going.
Keith, you're going to be heading to Mississippi because you won today. You qualified for the Challenge Cup this fall. What are your thoughts on that, and what are your expectations going into that event?
Man, I tell you, I have no idea. That's the first time I heard of it. I just found out. I ain't got a clue. I fished an event this year and another tour. Did really well in Mississippi, but that's the only lake I've been to. I have no idea. I don't have a clue where we're going, where we could go. It really don't matter. Just like this week. I mean, I haven't been this lake or this part of the country in 8 years. So, any time I don't get caught up in that. I don't worry about it. If it's Louisiana, Alabama, New York, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do what I feel comfortable doing, and look at the body of water and try to put whatever I think together and try to make it happen. So, I don't know if guys think about that or not. They may get caught up in that and worry about it. But really, with MLF, if you worry about where we're going, you're wasting your time, because it really doesn't matter. You just tie on what you think what kind of stuff we're gonna be fishing, and you make adjustments when you get on the water. So I'm ready to get it going. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for it to come.
You got some really nice fish this week, some big fish. Tell us about your consistent 4-pound catches this week.
Yeah, that's always good. You need a good fish each day, or a couple to do well in these events. I mean, these guys, when they start putting fish on the score tracker, and the thing about MLF, you can put a lot of small ones up and then overtake a couple big ones. So you know, the type of fishing I'm doing, shallow water, back of creeks, I'm not catching a lot of numbers, but I'm catching quality. So I think the type of water I'm fishing, you know, I'm catching, my odds of catching a big one is good. But I'm not gonna catch many, but I'm gonna catch a couple. And I think doing that and just grinding that out each day, I'm gonna eventually mill around and find a good fish each day. And a lot of times that's the difference in making it or not.
So Keith, we know that in previous shows, whether it's your record-setting performance in Lake of the Ozarks or others, that you can get pretty excited out on the water. So were there any moments today where you kind of felt that excitement, or was it just kind of a excitement and anxiety the entire time, knowing what it would mean for you to win today?
Yeah, you know, I always get excited. You know, when I caught that big one, it was pretty exciting. You know, because like he said, I mean, I've had a big one each day, and that's just, I knew that was going to be real crucial to have. And you know, I tell you, just going through that day and really getting a big lead like that the first period, that was really emotional. I was really thankful to do that because I ended up having a slow day, but I was happy to win. I mean, I'm excited now. I don't know. It's pretty awesome. First win on this format. So.
Well, good luck to you when you go to full-time Cup status and Cups this year to do that. One last question. Obviously on days like today, especially where it's a little bit slower, a little bit more of a grind, the score tracker can be your best friend or it can be your worst enemy. So how do you keep that from getting in your head?
You can't. I mean, that's part of the game, and that's what I love it. That's why I love it so much because, you know, I want to know. I want to know where I stand, and unfortunately, sometimes you're on the bottom end of that, and sometimes you're on the better end of it. But, you know, I like knowing where I'm at. It helps me make the decisions I need to make if I need to move or I need to stay. So it's emotional. It's ups and downs, but that's part of the game, and that's why we love it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again on your win. We're excited to see you in Mississippi for the 2018 Challenge Cup and in all other Cup events after that next year as you join the Cup Anglers full time. Congratulations again to today's winner, Keith Poche.
Thank you.